Welcome to the channel. Today, I'll be revealing how the jet age swept aside the mighty Westland Wyvern, a turboprop wonder eclipsed by faster, more powerful jet aircraft. The Westland Wyvern is a British aircraft that emerged during a period of significant technological evolution and served as one of the Royal Navy as primary carrier-based strike aircraft in the early Cold War era. Noteworthy for its imposing appearance and notable for being powered by one of the earliest turboprop engines, the Wyvern was a product of both innovation and the challenging transition from piston engines to jet propulsion in military aviation, development and design. The development of the Westland Wyvern began in the Second World War, as Westland aircraft took on the challenge of meeting the British Air Ministry's demand for a new class of strike fighter, an air superiority, a tall order that led to numerous design revisions and prototypes before the final model took shape. The original specifications called for an aircraft capable of multiple roles, including ground attack, reconnaissance. Initially conceptualized as the Westland W-34, the design underwent a significant transformation, primarily driven by the advancements in engine technology and shifting priorities in naval, aviation, and newer technologies. Westland engineers decided to incorporate a more powerful and efficient turboprop engine. The early designs proposed the use of piston engines, but as the focus shifted towards higher performance, this decision led to the selection of the Armstrong Siddeley Python, a choice that fundamentally altered the aircraft's operational dynamics. The Python. The integration of the Python turboprop engine was a bold move, reflecting the industry's pivot towards turbine power propulsion. This engine not only promised greater power, but also efficiency at the speeds and altitudes typical of naval operations. However, the powerful engine also brought challenges, particularly in handling and control. The Wyvern required a robust airframe to accommodate the unique stresses of naval aviation, including the demands of catapult launches and arrested landings on the pitching decks of aircraft carriers. To counteract the engine's significant torque, Westland engineers incorporated an innovative contra-rotating propeller system. This system featured the sets of propellers spinning in opposite directions, which helped balance the torque effects and improve aircraft stability during takeoff and flight maneuvers. The adoption of this system was a critical factor in enhancing the Wyvern's performance, making it more manageable for pilots during complex operations. The Wyvern's design also emphasized survivability and pilot safety. The cockpit was pressurized, a relatively novel feature at the time, which allowed the aircraft to operate comfortably at higher altitudes. The canopy offered excellent visibility, an essential factor for both combat effectiveness and carrier operations. In addition, Westland equipped the Wyvern with an ejection seat, an important safety feature that provided pilots with an escape route in emergencies. Armament. Central to the Wyvern's offensive capabilities were its 420mm Hispano MKV cannons, each mounted in the wings of the aircraft. These cannons were highly regarded for their rate of fire and reliability, making them a standard choice for British military aircraft of the era. The placement in the wings allowed for a wide field of fire, essential for strafing runs and aerial combat maneuvers. In addition to its cannons, the Wyvern was equipped to carry a significant load of external ordnance under its wings and fuselage. It featured hardpoints that could support a variety of bombs and rockets, enhancing its role as a ground attack aircraft. These hardpoints were capable of carrying up to 3,000 pounds of bombs, allowing the Wyvern to perform heavy bombing missions. This capability was critical during operations like the Suez Crisis, where Wyverns were tasked with bombing airfields and other strategic targets. The aircraft could also be fitted with unguided rockets for use against both land and sea targets. Rocket projectiles, such as the RP-3, were commonly used for their destructive potential against hard targets like bunkers and ships. For anti-ship missions, the Wyvern could carry torpedoes. This capability allowed it to engage larger naval vessels, adding another layer of threat to enemy fleets. The Wyvern's armament was complemented by its advanced targeting systems. Early versions of radar and targeting computers help pilots to deploy their weapons with greater accuracy, a crucial advantage in the chaotic environment of naval combat. Operational history. Wyvern's entry into operational service marked a critical juncture in the evolution of naval aviation, illustrating both the potential and the challenges of integrating new technologies into military operations. After years of development and testing, the Wyvern S4 finally joined the Fleet Air Arm of the Royal Navy in the 1950s, poised to demonstrate its capabilities as a carrier-based strike aircraft. Initially, the Wyvern encountered numerous hurdles. The advanced Armstrong Siddeley Python turboprop engine, while powerful, was plagued with reliability issues that led to several accidents and operational restrictions. These early teething problems necessitated ongoing modifications to enhance the aircraft's safety and functionality. Despite these challenges, the Wyvern began to prove its mettle during intensive operational deployments. The aircraft's first significant test came during the Suez Crisis in 1956, a pivotal event that underscored the strategic importance of air power in modern warfare. The Royal Navy deployed the Wyvern as part of its air operations against Egyptian forces, where it conducted numerous sorties involving ground attacks and reconnaissance missions. During these operations, the Wyvern's robust design and heavy armament came to the forefront. The aircraft's performance in these high-stress scenarios demonstrated its capacity to deliver punishing blows against ground targets, providing crucial support to allied ground forces and disrupting enemy logistics and infrastructure. Suez Crisis. The Wyvern's role in the Suez Crisis also highlighted its versatility and endurance in sustained combat operations. Operating from the decks of aircraft carriers, the Wyvern showcased the strategic mobility of air power, projecting force rapidly and effectively to distant conflict zones. This capability reinforced the Royal Navy's approach to using carrier-based aviation as a key element of its military strategy during the Cold War. Following its service in the Suez Crisis, the Wyvern continued to serve in various capacities within the Fleet Air Arm. However, the rapid advancement in jet technology soon overshadowed the turboprop-driven Wyvern. The emergence of faster, more agile jet fighters and bombers that could operate from aircraft carriers signaled a shift in naval aviation tactics and technology. By the late 1950s, the Wyvern began to be phased out, making way for these new jet aircraft variants. The development of the Westland Wyvern involved several variants, each marking a step in the evolution of this aircraft from its initial design to the final operational model. These variants reflected ongoing technological advancements and adjustments to meet operational requirements. The journey began with the Westland Wyvern W.34. The very first prototype that emerged to meet the Air Ministry specification in 11/44 for a naval strike fighter. The W-34 was originally designed to be powered by a Rolls-Royce Eagle piston engine. However, due to the rapid development in aviation technology and changing strategic needs, this variant never advanced beyond the planning stages. The focus quickly shifted towards incorporating a more powerful and efficient engine, leading to the development of the Wyvern TF.1 Torpedo Fighter 1. This variant was the first to take flight in 1946. The TF.1 was initially equipped with a Rolls-Royce Eagle 22 piston engine, which powered contra-rotating propellers, a novel feature designed to manage the significant torque produced by the engine. However, the performance of the TF.1 under this configuration did not meet the Royal Navy's growing expectations, which were now tilting towards higher speed and better reliability offered by turbine engines. Torpedo Fighter. Recognizing the limitations of piston engines in meeting these demands, Westland shifted its focus to turboprop engines, leading to the development of the Wyvern TF.2. This variant was designed to incorporate the Armstrong Siddeley Python turboprop engine, a significant shift that promised improved performance and reliability. The TF.2 underwent a series of tests, but it fell short in some operational aspects, primarily due to the developmental nature of the Python engine during those early years. To address these issues, the Wyvern evolved into the TF-3 variant, which featured an updated version of the Python engine. The TF-3 also included various aerodynamic refinements to improve flight characteristics and operational efficiency. These changes marked significant improvements, yet the aircraft still required further development to fulfill its designated role effectively. The culmination of these developmental efforts was the Wyvern S4, the variant that eventually entered service with the Fleet Air Arm. The S4 incorporated all previous improvements and featured the fully developed Python 3 engine, which provided greater reliability and performance. This variant was equipped with modern avionics, an ejection seat for pilot safety, and enhanced armaments, including for 20mm Hispano cannons and provisions for bombs and rockets. The Wyvern S4 represented the final production model and was the version that saw actual combat during operations such as the Suez Crisis in 1956. Retirement: the aircraft that effectively replaced the Westland Wyvern in service with the Fleet Air Arm of the Royal Navy was the de Havilland Sea Vixen. This transition marked the Royal Navy's shift towards jet-powered aircraft for its carrier-based operations, aligning with broader trends in military aviation during the late 1950s and early 1960s. The Sea Vixen was a twin-engine, twin-boom, all-weather jet fighter that offered significant advancements over the turboprop-driven Wyvern, particularly in terms of speed, agility, and operational ceiling. Unlike the Wyvern, which was primarily used for ground and naval strikes, the Sea Vixen was designed as a fleet air defense aircraft, capable of intercepting high-speed targets at considerable distances from the carrier group. This role was increasingly important in the context of the Cold War, as the threat from Soviet bombers and missile-equipped submarines grew more pronounced. In addition to its advanced radar systems and higher performance metrics, the Sea Vixen could carry a range of armaments including air-to-air missiles, rockets, and bombs, making it a versatile platform for a variety of combat scenarios. This capability allowed it to fully take over the air defense and strike roles previously filled by the Wyvern, thus completing the transition of Royal Navy aviation into the jet age.